is no man living who may ignore with impunity what these men do. For their business is the atom, from whose energy can come catastrophic destruction or one of the greatest creative forces known to man. In the pursuit of knowledge about the atom, cosmic rays in the outer atmosphere are being studied with balloons, or from vantage points high up in the Alps. And in universities and research institutes throughout Britain, the secrets of the atom are being revealed. And as these secrets become common knowledge, it is borne in upon the ordinary man and woman that in atomic energy may lie the key to a new prosperity. All over the world, men and women of diverse occupations are learning how atomic energy can help them.
So that we British have a live interest in matters atomic. Any other questions?
So how long will it be until we have atomic power stations?
What about space power stations, sir? What's it cost to make things radioactive? And how about atomic cars?
Before we can look into the future, let's first consider the present and see what is going on in one of the world's centers for the study of the atom. Machines, complex beyond the dreams of the ancient philosopher, are the tools with which the atomic scientist makes possible man's ancient dream of turning baser metals into gold. By changing the atomic structure of metals, medieval magic is being fulfilled. By that same means, the way is open for many substances to be given a new form of life. Nitrogen, for example, can become a radioactive form of carbon, an element essential to all living things. Minute quantities of ordinary elements can be endowed with extraordinary properties. Here is the atomic pile. Now place in it a common element. Here, under the intense bombardment of atomic particles generated by uranium, it will become radioactive. Different elements take from a matter of hours to years to become radioactive. Radioactivity is now widely used in many fields, since it can be produced without prohibitive cost in the atomic pile. Now let magic begin. Requests for this radioactive material come in shoals from every quarter. Medical, agricultural, industrial, and research problems are dealt with daily.
Consequently, we want to put it into routine use at the Plastic Surgery Centre at Salisbury, if it can let us have the sodium.
It depends very much what specific activity you like to have for these kind of experiments.
Our problem at Ebervale on the electrolytic tinning line is to measure the thickness of tin on steel sheet, which is roughly 0.010 of an inch thick. The thickness of the tin is approximately 13 millionths of an inch thick.
My experiments with the beta backscattering gauge measured tin plate to a thickness of 50 millionths of an inch to an accuracy of, say, 10%. Would that be any use to you?
And how, to consider another problem, can the electric charge from textile looms be eliminated? This charge draws dirt to the fibers like a magnet and fixes it firmly. The electricity is similar to that produced when brushing your hair on a frosty morning. A bar of radioactive thallium eliminates the charge. And still they come in, these calls urgent for attention. This one from South Africa, 6,000 miles across the seas, is a request for radioactive iodine to help in the diagnosis of a gland disorder. As the radioactive elements, or isotopes, as they are called, emerge from the pile, lead casing is used as a precaution against harmful radiation. And sensitive instruments that detect radioactivity are in constant use to safeguard the health of the men and women who work with the atom. In addition to special protective clothing, a strip of film records the radiation to which the wearer is exposed. But people have little cause to worry about atomic hazards at Harwell. Precautions far outweigh the dangers. In the atomic presence, no one is allowed directly to handle radioactive elements. Even the smallest amounts are dealt with by remote control. The measures of precaution taken inside Harwell are redoubled for the outside world. Special lead-lined packing cases are used for radioactive isotopes sent by rail. Customers at home and overseas require nearly 1,000 consignments a month.
Heavy things, these atoms, huh?
They will be found in many different kinds of laboratories. For radioactivity is becoming as essential to research as the microscope. By injecting a minute quantity of radioactive liquid into a cockroach, the action of insecticide on its system can be traced. Laboratory tests help to control household and agricultural pests and reveal the value of insecticides. Using isotopes, we can find out how fertilizers affect the growth and development of plants. From this sort of work, every gardener's tomato plants may eventually benefit. In hospitals, radioactive isotopes are enabling the doctor to diagnose with an accuracy never previously contemplated. In plastic surgery, to take an example, the injection of a harmless radioactive fluid enables the flow of blood through newly grafted skin to be observed. A series of Geiger counters is used to measure the rate at which the radioactive traces in the blood circulate. The number of surgical operations is reduced, and the patient's time in hospital shortened. As the machinery relays the message from the atom, the information is translated into medical terms. Blast furnace walls can be tested for wear without shutting down the plant or stopping production. In the same way, structural weaknesses in steel castings can be detected. In industry, radioactive isotopes are being used to improve mechanical efficiency and increase export production. Dirt that once caused losses in material and working time in the textile industry is now eliminated by a strip of radiothallium. And as a means of measurement, radioactive elements cannot be surpassed. The measurement of 50 millionths of an inch of the thickness of tin on this plated steel has been achieved by radioactivity. Technical progress more and more depends on atomic energy, but there are difficulties. Radiations from these substances complicate the use of atomic energy and its supply to the world. Some difficulties can be overcome fairly easily, such as this ingenious method of carrying radioisotopes by air. Here in the wingtip, it is far enough away to cause the passengers no harm and can be carried swiftly to the furthest corners of the earth. The benefits of atomic energy are being made possible by such men as these. In their efforts, there is promise of lessening the toil of all men, of bringing light and power to the darkest places and fertility to barren lands. The atom places before us a question as pressing as Hamlet's. The prophet may be confounded by events. No man is less likely to indulge in idle dreams than the man of science. But he knows that from atomic energy, there can be a life more abundant for all of us.